What's good, prodbyt, back with another video. In today's one, I'm going to be showing you how to get sharp sounding drums in your Afro swing beats. Afro swing, it can be a bit tricky, like, yeah, just trying to understand how it works and the rhythm, and also just making it sound good and sharp and crisp. This main focus is on the drums today, but I'll also just show you the melody as well quick. Let's get straight into it. This beat. So what I'm gonna do now, I think we might as well just break down the drums. Started off with this rim. I always like starting off with like the rim. This is what it sounds like. So very like, I didn't even put the swing on, you know. I've varied the pitch and I haven't varied any of the velocity. But near the end, I just wanted something different to happen. So first of all, let me take off this. I always put echo on some of my percussions because it adds to that human. It kind of sounds a bit more like someone's playing some ghost notes in the background, but without the echo. Versus with. I always like to fade out the end of the sound, so without fading it out, it sounds like really messy, and then with, it sounds much sharper, much tighter now, and clean sounding, and that's gonna benefit the overall mix when you put all your layers and instruments together. You want to go on this button here. It's like a quick start. It just kind of shifts the sound a bit, so you want to kind of shift it so that all this dead sound in the beginning is not there, so that it's on point. When your drum hits, it's hitting at the sharp point, not at the going through the dead point and then finally making its way to the sharp point. So without, with, like, it's a very minimal difference, but the sound definitely comes sooner, and when you apply that to everything, it will make a difference in the mix. And then what I also did is I like to put a shift on the drum, so it kind of just messes with the time and a bit of a humanistic feel. So with the shift right now, yeah, that's if I wanted to be really extreme. You could hear that it's a bit offbeat, but you don't want to go that extreme with it, so just a little bit, just to add a bit of a different rhythm. But yeah, so let me just show you without anything that I've put on.
So take that off, take this off, and take this off.
And then put it all back on. So that's the rim. We've got the conga. Basically want to add this same concept to the conga and just make sure that it's tight. I've cut out some of the end of it, so with and without, it's just, and you can even visually see the amount of extra noise that's left behind at the end when the sound plays versus when I cut it out. So yeah, this one I didn't do shift the starting point of the sound. I just left it because you can tell like the sharp bit is already there at the beginning, like it's hitting the wave lines are big at the front, so there's no small little wave lines and then a big wave line, it gets straight to the point. In terms of effects on the mixer track, so this is all I've done. I've cut out some of the low end, I've boosted it over here just to give it a bit more presence. That's what I've done with that rim. As for the conga, cut out some of the low frequencies so that it doesn't clash and it's not too muddy. Boosted it over here where I felt like it needed a bit more presence, and boosted these higher frequencies as well so you could hear it a bit better, like differentiate the sound from the rim and get that more, it's got a more tonal sound I thought, so I just wanted to bring attention to that. Got the cowbell. Again, same concept. I took out the end. You can hear a lot of that leftover sound that is just there lingering in the mix, whereas when I cut out, sharp, don't hear anything else. Didn't need to do a start on that because you can already see the sound is sharp to begin with. It's hitting from the start. And then put the shift on this as well, no echo. Done some panning with my drums, so you can see the cowbell is panned to the left, whereas the conga is panned to the right. And then the rim, I left it in the center because I feel like it's a main drum and I wanted it to be in the center of the mix. So I cut out the lows, cut out some of the highs, and yeah, and I dipped over here because there was probably some bad frequencies. Yeah, you can hear that kind of muddy sound right there, so I just cut that out. I've got the shakers as well. This was a last minute addition to the beat. Just left it as it is. I probably did something to it in the mixer track. Cut out all of, basically I just wanted the high frequencies. Yeah, the kick now. I've put it on full velocity for the notes to give it that presence. Cut out as well on here. So it's a bit loose here, but then that one is much more tight and compact and brought in together. I did normalize it. It's not really much of a difference, but I felt like it was a bit sharper when I normalized it, so I left it like that. I've got a parametric EQ. I boosted frequencies around the 50 to 100 range because that's where most of the oomph is, and then I cut it out from here because there was a lingering frequency that was making it sound weird. The difference versus, and then we got the soft clipper, really clipping high degree. Yeah, just a little tambourine sounding kind of noise, just literally repeating at every interval here. Put the shift on it as well, the time shift. Cut out some of the lingering frequencies on this, so without and with, yeah, just tighter, just basically just tightening up all the drums, like making it just crisp and sharp. Yeah, only wanted the high frequencies in there. And let me run through these little ear candy pieces that I like to dot around in the beat. So that will be the whistle. I won't go through the vocal effects yet, but I feel like the vocal effects are kind of adds to the percussion of the beat as well. It's meant to accompany and complement the drums. So first we got this instrument here. Yeah, just a crash for dramatic effect at the end there. Signal the end of a section. Then we got the tam, then we got the clap, and then we got the GUI. And the whistle, of course, gives it that like sporty feel. Same thing, cut out some of the sound, just reverb and a parametric EQ to make the whistle sound a bit more like it's like outside. So I've panned it to the left as well. Into the clap, I completely tightened this one out. There was a lot of extra sound just lingering around. Yeah, you hear that? That is a lot of extra unneeded sound, but it sounds much more tighter once you cut all of that out. Yeah, the tambourine, same effects as well, tighten up the sound. And yeah, that's it. Now onto the vocal effects. We got the bark, and we got the yeah, and we got the Did the same thing, tightened it up a bit. The here is giving very much lagbaja vibes. So if you know, you know. Conco below. That's what I like. So very aggressive. And then we got the and then we've also got drum rolls. This is just a sample. Just tightened it up at the end a little bit using this knob here, the out knob. Tightened this one up a little bit at the end as well. But I also added a boost so you can really feel that bass. For the melody, we've only got 1, 2, 3, 4 layers plus this vocal choir sample that I've added for dramatic effect here. So to get the different pitches, I just did this, press make unique, and then it basically makes this different from any of the other samples, so that you can now click on it, change the pitch to where you want it, which for me was 600 for this, without it affecting any of your other samples. This one is at 400 because, you know, I wanted it to come. Yeah, so these two are higher than these other two samples. You've got the main melody here, just running quickly. So that's how it looks like and sounds. This is the instrument. I got it off of Nexus. It's called Monastery. So it's from the voice part of Nexus. And what I did to this, really cut out some frequencies, the lows, the highs. Really wanted it to not be too out there, but sit nicely in the back. This is, I put a pan on it. Melody is just panning very slowly from left to right, very subtle, nothing too much. Then I put a stereo enhancer to give it a wider effect, like you're in a big room and this choir is just humming in the back. So I put that, and then I also put the stereo shaper for more separation, for more stereo separation between your ears. And that's how you get. So without all the effects, and then with all the effects, it kind of feels like it's surrounding you a little bit more. So you got that subtly playing, then you have the choir. This is just a stock sound. You can find it on stock FL. I just put the same effects as was on the Monastery voice choir. I put the same, put it here as well to give it that wideness. This is a cello called the Dark Cello. Got it from the classical section in Nexus. All I did to that was increase its velocity, full velocity, parametric EQ to boost. I really boosted the low end, boosted those deep frequencies because I really wanted it to sound deep and bassy. And I also put an overdrive on it as well. So without, doesn't have much much presence, but with busting through the speakers. After that, I put another little counter melody. Yeah, it's a piccolo. I was gonna call it a flute, but it's a piccolo. Just put that in there. It probably has the same effects as my other instruments as well. Just a parametric EQ, soundgodizer, just to give it a bit. It was a bit quiet and I wanted it to have a bit more presence, so put on the soundgodizer, why not? And then a little bit of reverb as well, just to give it that realism. So without and with. It's very much so widened by the reverb, given a bit more presence by the soundgodizer, but also sits nicely in the back from parametric EQ, which kind of cuts out those frequencies that might make it a bit too much. But yeah, that's it. Modern day inspiration would be a bit of Midas. She very has that, what's the word now, like that deep African essence in her music, and I feel this is kind of inspired by some of that as well. As for an artist that would actually rap on this, I feel like Naira Marley would sound good on this. Like his flow would be nice on this kind of a beat. But yeah, that is my Afro swing tutorial. This beat is called Underdog. It's given very much underdog with deep African vibes, I think. If you want to check it out, it'll be link in the description, my main beats channel. But yeah, catch you in the next one.
He's too wavy, you know.